Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? My name is Rob Carmona, and welcome back to another episode of Rob the Mic. So, for this week's episode, I wanted to talk about the subject of time and not having enough of it. But before we get into that, I wanted to talk about some things that kind of unfolded over the weekend and that led me to want to talk about this subject specifically. I feel like starting last Wednesday, it was just kind of like go, 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 go every single day. Like I didn't really get a breather. I didn't feel like I could relax for a minute up until yesterday. And even then, yesterday, I was kind of working on a few things, trying to get some stuff figured out, actually, for the podcast. I'm trying to do some improvements, bring back certain things. There's one big element that I'm trying to bring back. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, things work out for the next episode and I can kind of show you guys there. And maybe you'll see the difference. I'm not sure. Starting on Friday. Actually, let's even go back. Let's go back to the beginning for last week, right? Which I know I had mentioned, I had met up with Jay and had lunch. We were just kind of discussing a few things, going over a couple life updates. And one of the things that we wanted to do for last week was have a pizza night. And we were trying to figure something out for the end of the week. And we ended up having it on Friday night. I was super fucking excited for that. And honestly, I think it's just where Jay and Sabrina's life has gone, and the fact that I've been able to kind of walk next to them on this journey has been insanely special. Insanely special. And I feel very, very fortunate that certain people in my life that I really, really care for take me along these journeys with them. Because I feel like for myself, it's exciting to see the people that I love grow and move and do certain things and make these big life shifts, because it's like I feel like for myself that life is shifting because I'm getting the opportunity to view and to be a part of these things. Because other than that, it's like maybe I wouldn't have this experience yet, but I'm getting a glimpse of what it is. I'm getting a glimpse of what it could be. And I feel like that's kind of what my life has been comprised of lately, is just kind of glimpses as to what's coming or how things can be, and to continue pushing and walking forward. And that's what's so exciting. And it kind of leaves me in a state of hunger, like that I'm constantly trying and wanting to push myself so that I can achieve things, achieve these goals, get that apartment, get that house, make these moves, make my career shift a certain way, and trying to just kind of look at it from a bigger lens. And again, also be so fucking happy and just be that filled with this like overwhelming amount of love for the people around me that are making these strides, that are making these moves, making these things kind of happen for themselves, because it's amazing. And I think if you don't feel that for the people around you, like if you're not excited, if you're not happy, if you don't have this like genuine love for watching them move forward, then it's like that's an issue in itself, right? Like I think that's something that kind of needs to be assessed. And it doesn't really help with like social media and like all these things that are going down, because you're constantly seeing people move a certain way. And even if it's people you don't really care for, it's like that can have a somewhat of a negative impact on you, right? And I had talked about this a couple weeks back, where I was starting to see everybody get engaged, have babies, do all these things, buy houses, get all whatever it may be. And I was starting to feel kind of left behind until I shifted my view. And when I did that, it kind of let me take a step back, and I was like, wait, there's a bigger picture here. You're supposed to experience these things right now. And why it was happening and why it is happening right now, I have no idea. But again, the fact that I can now step back and say, okay, look at it for what it is. This is amazing. The people around me that I care about are doing things and moving and pushing, and it's inspiring. So going back to the pizza night on Friday, right? It was going to be our first pizza night together in their new place. Super fucking excited about that. And like for me, no lie, it felt like I was going to go to like a buddy sleepover for the first time. I felt like I was back in grade school. I was like, ooh, we're going to have pizza night. We're just going to chill out. And it was going to be dope, And it honestly, it was from the moment I walked in the door. I was so excited. I showed up with my goodies. I'm like, ooh, what's up? Took off my shoes, jumped on the couch. We put on some music, and that was it. That was the vibe the entire night. And it was crazy because like we were trying to figure out what kind of pizza we wanted. We grab some stuff from a local joint, walked out, went to go get it. And there was something even special about that too, right? Like just ordering pizza for the first time at the homie's place and then walking to go get it, walking back and just, I don't know, like maybe it's just me, but I'm a sucker for all that stuff. I remember all those things. Like I'm really big on that. Really, really big on that. Remembering small things and details and all that. And just honestly, the fun that we had ordering the pizza. And I'm like, dude, this is fucking sick. The music was right. The conversation was incredible. And it was us just talking about life, talking about what's going on right now, what's going on with Jay, what's going on with Sabrina, you know, how they're feeling, how everything's moving, right? Because they have these processes that they're kind of dealing with right now that for me, it's like I'm getting to assist in any way that I can. And I'm glad to be there for them and be a support system for them because they need it right now. I think all of us kind of come across these points in our lives that we need to rely on our support systems, right? And build those circles, which we've talked about here on the podcast, right? Like how important it is to build and have those support systems and those people that you can run to. No ifs, ands, or buts. You know they're going to answer the phone. You know they're going to be like, hey, okay, look, I may not have the answer, but let me see what I can do to get the answer. I'm going to do everything in my power to get that. And it's important to have that. So watching them go through this and me getting to step is like, this is it. So we start talking about all that. They start asking me about my stuff. You know, I start talking about things I'm kind of dealing with in my personal life, things with my family here in my home, and which has been a lot as of late. It's just crazy things happening. You know, people are getting older. Certain people are coming across certain medical issues, and it's like the weight is starting to shift, right? Where the weight that was getting pulled is starting to get even heavier, and it's like, okay, how do we kind of find this balance? So we start talking about things like that. We start talking about stuff with careers, you know, moves we're trying to make, things we're trying to do. And you know what? I think we get so caught up in the what we're trying to do next that we kind of forget to focus on the right now. And it leaves us in this state of like yearning, but almost in a bad way, because you're trying to constantly get to the next thing. But it's like, hold on. I think we need to kind of slow down and just kind of sit in where we're at. So as we're talking about all these life things and updates and, you know, in every sense, it's like, how dope is it to be here right now, to be in this spot, to be having pizza with the people I love and be laughing and just making new memories and in a new place. Like there was something so special about that. Honestly, I wouldn't have traded it for anything. There's nothing that could have come in between that to have been like, this isn't going to happen. So I was really excited for that. But again, I felt like when I was there, I felt so comfortable. I felt at home. And going home, I felt really, really good. And that's what I try to pay attention to right now. Is like when I'm with certain people or I go to certain places, do certain things, how do those things, places, people make me feel? How do I feel afterward? Do I feel drained? Do I feel complete? Do I feel happy? Do I feel sad? Do I feel pensive? Am I left in that sort of state? You know, do I feel uneasy? I gotta be aware of those things because I notice as I'm getting older, my circles and my people, I'm starting to like shift importance, not in a bad way, but I feel like it's kind of natural for us to do that. I think if we don't do that, it's like nothing's really moving, you know? And actually a funny story about that, like last night, I went out to a diner that I normally go to. It's like local to here. And I went to go get some dessert because I wanted some dessert. Ran into a friend of mine there and we were talking for a little bit. And I hadn't seen this friend in a while. Honestly, I'm not going to say a year, but it's definitely been some time, like close to that time frame. So nothing had changed. And it wasn't rough to have conversation, but it was almost rough to have conversation because for me, I feel like a lot's changed even in the last 6 months. And like I have updates, I have things, I have progress. And it was weird to not have that on the other side and for the other person to not be able to communicate that and be able to share like, dude, it's just been the same. It's just been the same. And I'm like, well, make a change. If you don't like this job, if you don't like this place, what are you going to do to get out of it? Because you've been complaining about it for X amount of time. And it's like, I had even gone back to this diner and I didn't see this friend of mine. So I was like, damn, I guess they're not here no more. You know, that good for them. That's what's up. They moved on, they made some changes, whatever. Come to find out, they're still there. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying you have to leave and you got to do things and why the fuck you still there. But if you're going to be complaining and you feel some sort of way about where you're at, then make a change. And if you're not going to make a change, if nothing's going to change, then don't complain about it. Why are you even mentioning it, right? And like, I realize that for myself too. Like, there's certain things that I talk about and I complain about, but I haven't made any sort of move, forward movement to like change any of those situations. So it's like, why am I still complaining about it when I know how that story ends, right? Like, Jay had been telling me that recently, like, yo, you're in this sort of book, and actually you're in a few books, right? But like, how certain stories end, yet you almost keep rereading the same chapters in the same book. Like, you already know, dude. You already know how these books end. Sometimes things have to get closed. And it's like, as I remember things like that when the homies tell me things like that, because it's like, you're saying it for a reason. So I got to stomach it. And I almost, when I can share that with other people, it's like, I almost feel like I have to. It's like, why are you complaining? Why are you doing this? If you're not going to make a move, then just don't say anything about it. Because at that point, it's like, well, it's just almost like a waste of time. So like, why waste it? But on Friday, I felt like my time is exactly where it needed to be, with the people that I love, having those moments, having those laughs, making those memories. And I'm like, this is it. This is it. And again, I went home and I felt so complete. I jumped in the shower, got home late as fuck, showered, went to sleep, woke up the next day. It was my nephew's birthday. And man, I was so excited about that. Like, I've known about this for a while, had everything planned. And I was like, okay, cool. This has been in the calendar. That's it. So Saturday I went out to go get some last minute gifts for him. Some things that I wanted to add, because I was like, man, I had got him some little things, but I was like, nah, I need more. So Mom and I went out, got him a couple more things. We dip out to the party. And again, same thing. It's just go, 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 go. Because I woke up and it was just off to run errands. So like, we take off, run errands, make things happen. We get out to the party, right? And it's a great time. It's a great fucking time. They have a water slide for the kids. Everybody's kind of kicking it in the shade. It was a little bit warm. I was out in Moreno Valley. So for those of y'all who are local to LA, or you know what Moreno Valley is, like, it's a little bit on the warmer side. It's heading out towards San Bernardino, so like going towards the mountains. And compared to LA, the temperature difference is usually pretty big. Sometimes it could be 10, 15 degrees hotter out there. Sometimes even 20 degrees hotter out there. So it depends. But it was dope. Overall, it was dope. And honestly, seeing my nephew just be happy and just kind of take in everything that was around him was the best thing. Seeing him smile, just kind of navigate, be about his little party, and everything was Cars themed, and that was dope. Just to be with the homies, to also meet new homies. And it was crazy because at one point in the night, I remember Izzy turns around and he goes, you know what, dude? I love when my homies make homies. And I'm like, yeah, because that's what it's about, right? Like, everybody kind of wants that. Everybody has their own people that they fuck with. And then when you can kind of bring circles together, there's something so special about that. Like, when these homies vibe with those homies, that vibe with those homies, that vibe with these homies. And it just, everything kind of connects, so that when people see each other, it's just constant love. It's just constant hugs and being like, dude, it's good to see you. I'll see you at the next one, XYZ. And it was dope for multiple reasons. Again, not just because it was my nephew's first birthday, which was a big fucking deal, but because more connections got established, more things got strengthened. And again, for myself, getting to have my mom there with me is also really important. Because everybody that knows, they know me for the most part, like they know my mom. She's always kicking it. She's always here. She's about good vibes, all those things. And the fact that my people include my mom in a lot of this stuff is very important to me. Because it's not like I just bring her along to these things. It's like, hey, dude, you and your mom are invited to this. You and your mom I want you guys here. And it's like, damn, okay. So it's really special for the both of us to share that. And I love, again, that my closer people have this connection with my mom, that they want to share their pregnancies. They want to share their life updates. They want to talk about stories. They want to talk about family, all these things with her. They want her to hold their kids and, start to slowly instill these values. And it's like, damn. So again, this weekend was it was great. It was busy. It was heavy, but for all the right reasons. So for a lot of the times, I got to like just kind of stand back and take in everything that was happening. So I was very, very fortunate to be a part of something like that. And the same thing on Saturday. I came home feeling so full, so full. And it's like, what more could I ask for? And when I got home from there, I got dinner, and I was like, just like over dinner, I was like, damn, dude, like today was so sick. Like I'm so tired, like physically, I'm just like, I'm drained, but I was so excited over the day. Like I still had juice, like I still had some gas to keep it going. And I did, after dinner, it was great. It was great. My dinner plans, they were late for sure, but everything worked out. It was all good vibes, all good things. And it's like, all right, cool. This is a good spot. I like this. Which then led me into Sunday. And I think Sunday hit really, really different. What I was going to be doing is doing a Sunday Funday with Albert and Yesi. And it was like a super late celebration for Albert's birthday, because unfortunately on his birthday, like the day before, if I remember correctly, he got sick. So come when his birthday rolled around, like he was just fully in it. He was not feeling good. Everything was all bad. And it took him a little bit to get better. And things were just happening. Things kept unfolding. And it was like, damn, dude, like we're not going to be able to celebrate it right now. So on Sunday, we were finally able to make it happen. And we were constantly trying to figure out like, yo, when are we going to do it? When can we kick it? When can we kick it? And he had mentioned that he wanted to get some Chicago pizza. And I said, all right, for sure. Let me see what's up. So I hit him up and I was like, yo, Sunday Funday? He's like, yep, Sunday Funday. I said, dope, let's make it happen. So earlier in the day, I was running around trying to get some stuff just cleaned up here around the house. Because usually what we end up doing is if we don't kick it here and make food here, we'll go out, go eat, do our thing, spend some time out, and then come back here, have a couple of drinks, and just kick back, listen to music, just chill vibes. And earlier that day, I ended up working on my mom's transmission because she was having some issues with that. Got that sorted, fixed up. Albert shows up like right after that. So at that point, we're kicking back, chilling, laughing. It's like, okay, what are we going to do? Pizza for sure, right? He's like, yeah, pizza for sure. So I dip out. We go to this spot off of 2nd Street in Long Beach. That's one of my favorite places for Chicago pizza, at least like locally. We go there, we're kicking back. And I was just trying to make sure he was good. Because we start talking about a few things. And I know that life has been lifing. You know what I mean? It's been a little on the heavier side for him. I'm not trying to, air out his laundry right now. So no disrespect, my dude. But it's, he's been dealing with a lot. And I feel like all of us in certain ways have been kind of going through it. Right. But for him, it's like, it's very important for me as my brother to know that he's doing all right. And if there's something I can do to help him, like I'm going to do that. So Sunday was very therapeutic for myself, for him, for Yesi. And just to be in that space that we could enjoy each other's time, enjoy each other's company, and laugh and make memories in a new spot. Because honestly, I think that day overall is something that we're never going to forget. Even the walks through the neighborhoods. Because around there where that place is in Long Beach, it's beautiful around there. And it's right by the beach. So we ended up parking pretty far down. And we were basically a block from the beach. So after we ate, it started to get chilly pretty quick. But, we finished up our stuff. We leave from the restaurant. We start walking back to the truck. And I was like, yo, dude, like the beach is right there. He's like, yeah, man, the beach is right there, And I was like, you want to go? He's like, yeah, let's go. So we stopped by the truck, put the stuff in there. Said, let's hit it. We walked all the way down, walked up to the water. Like, I didn't know if we were just going to walk to the sand and just kind of kick back and look over everything, or if we were going to walk up to the water. Once we hit the sand, we just kept going. Like, there was no slowing down. So I said, fuck it, I'm here for it. And what was tight is when we got to the sand, the sun was already starting to go down. So it wasn't quite sunset, but it was already starting to dip a little bit. Like, the day was starting to get super golden. Or the sky, I guess you could say. And everything about that is like what shifted the night. Because as if it wasn't already good, there was something, for me, I think there's something so powerful about the beach, about the water, about standing like right there at the sand and just kind of letting the water wash over you a little bit. Like I've always felt this really, really weird, like strong connection out there. And there's all kinds of spiritual things that speak to that, right? Like what water does to you and what the ocean does to you and for you. And I'm a firm believer in those things because I've experienced quite a few things at the beach just throughout my life. Like I have a lot of really important memories that are there. And I've made a lot of really important realizations at the beach too. So it's very special for me. And he had never been to this beach that we were at. And it was very calm. There wasn't a lot of people there. And honestly, I was surprised the entire day because even where we were going, it's usually pretty packed on the weekends. And I was like, damn, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I didn't even remember that it was a holiday weekend. But somehow everything worked out. We found our parking. We got seated at the restaurant right away. The beach was quiet. There was a couple people there, but like barely anybody, to be honest with you. Like we felt alone, which was nice. We go up to the water, and then for myself, like I take my moments. I think we kind of each individually had our time, like myself, Albert, and Yesi. And I immediately was like, I need to get in the water. Not like all the way in, but I need to at least let the water wash on, like over my feet. And I kind of just stood there. And I was just looking over. You see the tanker ships out in the distance. Like, I don't know. Like, I love that feeling of feeling small, of feeling almost like insignificant. It's the same thing I have with like being up in the forest, which I know I've talked to you guys about before, right? Like going up to the mountains and just feeling so small that it's like nothing else matters. You're in a place that is so, like way bigger than you. And you will never understand the magnitude of that, of just that size, of how big this thing truly is. And I needed that. Like to be humbled in a way. So I sat there and I, even for a while, like I was talking to my Uncle Alfredo, which for those of you guys who don't know, if this is your first time tuning in, my Uncle Alfredo passed last July of cancer. And he always had me at the beach with him. You know, he's the one who taught me how to boogie board, and we spent a lot of time by the water, especially when I was a kid. But even growing up, like we spent a lot of time by the water. So the water meant a lot for us, both of us. And I found myself talking to him forever. Like at first I was just kind of like, hey dude, you know, like watch over us. You know, watch over moms, watch over grandma, me, make sure, you know, I catch the right steps, I make the right moves, that I'm doing my best. Watch over the people that I love and care for, that I loved and cared for you, you know? And then it turned into like conversation, like actual conversation. I felt like I was like talking to him, which the last time I had done something like that, I think it was on his anniversary this past July, which I think I had mentioned it to you guys too, just about how that day went. But I had a moment where everyone that was here, like in my house, they had gone to the misa, like to basically like to mass for him that day. And I was here alone, like prepping the food and just making sure everything was set. And that was probably the last time I like really talked to him. Not just like asked him to watch over and like asking him her things. It was just conversation and telling him how much I miss him. So when I was at the beach, like I was fine. I was great all day. And even the pizza spot that we went to was one of his favorite places, but it felt good to like reminisce in that way. And then for some reason, I just got super emotional at the water. And just, it was almost like every time the water would just kind of like roll over my feet and just kind of like hit my legs. Like I don't like the pull from the ocean just felt different. I know it might sound weird, not trying to get all, you know, spiritual and all this, but it felt different. And I just felt super connected to him. So I was like, hey, this is what's going on, G. This is what's been happening. Kind of giving him life updates and being like, you know, Because like, I miss you, dude. It sucks to not be able to call you and tell you what's going on or ask you questions about business or whatever it may be, just to shoot the shit, just because, like, and it, all of this, especially again, Sunday, is what is inspiring this episode. And I guess the overall theme, which has been kind of sprinkled throughout the things I've been talking about, but it's just time, right? Like, the problem is that we think we have time, but we don't. No matter what you do, like, there's never enough time. And every time that you're in a situation that you should be enjoying, it's almost like you don't enjoy it fully because you're so concerned of other things. But it's like we have to stop and realize that everything that we experience is a gift for any amount of time, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, whatever. We're getting that. So in that moment when I was there at the beach, I had my moments for me. I had my moments with the people that I love. Took some pictures, had some laughs, and just kind of chilled out and enjoyed it for what it was. And I was like, damn, dude, this is beautiful. Like, the sunset hit different that day. And it was my first time at the beach all summer, which is weird because I really don't live that far from the beach and I never go. The only time I really went to the beach a lot was when I was in school, because my school was in Laguna Beach and it was like up the street. So I would, whenever things would go down, even in between classes, if I had like an hour or so in between classes, sometimes I dip down to the beach really quick and just go chill, watch the water, catch a little refresh on life, catch my breath a bit, and then just jam back. And I haven't done that in such a long time. And on Sunday, I was like, dude, this is a heavy reminder, like, how much more I need to do this. It's just come over here and kick it and do nothing. Like, I didn't have anything. I didn't have a blanket, like none of that stuff to kick it. I just went. We just walked down, let the water do its thing, let the beach do its thing, look down over at downtown, kind of see like, you see like the mountains of like Pedro and all that stuff, and just kind of watching the sun dip behind them. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I needed. Like a little bit of a reset, And I remember asking my uncle, as if I don't ask him for things all the time, but it's just like, dude, just continue guiding me, continue guiding everybody that I love, everyone that I care for. Like, help us make the best decisions that we can. Guide us in the right directions and just protect us from what's not for us. Not even just from evil shit, just like things that aren't for us. Help us help ourselves, type of thing. And again, it just made me think about time. And then I read something too. And again, it kind of just reinforces this type of thing. And I'm going to read like word for word what this little piece said. So it said, on average, we get 80 summers if we're lucky. So don't put off the trip. Stop waiting for life to begin. Stay up late with friends. Get up early to watch the sunrise. Catch every sunset. Book the trip. Go on that hike. Go to the beach. Spend time with those you love and tell them how you feel. And so it was creepy. It was weird to like read that, because all of those things were things that had happened over the weekend. Pretty much all of them, right? Like, Friday, staying up late with friends. Jay and Sabrina had stuff to do both Saturday and Sunday, super early for work. And it like didn't even matter. Like, we knew what was going to happen. And then we stayed in that moment on Friday. And next thing you know, I'm still at their place at like 2 a.m. And I'm like, damn, dude, I got to fucking go home. But time just kept flying because we were just talking and enjoying each other's company. And I'm like, this is beautiful. And the same thing happened on Sunday. Luckily, Monday was a holiday, so nobody had to work the next day. But, Albert and Yesi were here super late. And it happens every time. It's because we fall into conversation and things are just good. And time just seems to like pass like this. And it's 9 p.m. and all of a sudden it's 2 a.m. And you're like, oh shit, dude, we got to get home. So reading something like this alone, just when it was, stay up late with friends, it's like, it's not just about going out drinking and partying and doing shit like that. It's literally about staying up late with them and the conversations and the things that are taken from all that, right? Going to the beach, I was just there, catching the sunset and how important that was and realizing it in that moment. And then reading this thing, I was like, what the fuck? Like, what are the odds of me experiencing and feeling those things over the weekend, of the entire weekend overall, but especially on Sunday, and then reading this, right? To take the trip, to make it happen, to do certain things. And I was like, once again, dude, we don't have time. So if we're presented with opportunities, we got to take them. And like, I'm a little sad right now because there's a trip that's going down with one of my buddies this weekend. He's going to be gone for the next week. He's heading up north, and he wanted me to go with him, but for some personal reasons, like I'm not able to make it right now, and I'm kind of bummed out about that because I really, really want to see this part of Northern California. But, and not that I've never been there, but where he's going is going to be very special. And the only way to get there is with a certain type of off-road vehicle, which he has a very, very capable Jeep. So I'm bummed out that I can't take that. Will I be there next year? For sure. And I'm very, very excited about that because at least now I have some time to prepare, get my truck ready, get some gear ready, and just feel comfortable and like be able to enjoy the trip for everything that it is and have all the gear and things that I need. But again, reading this little passage was kind of everything that I needed, because I knew I wanted to talk about time and just like the importance of it and blah, blah, blah. But I think there's a difference when you find direction in talking about it. And it was all of this, especially that end, right? Spend time with those you love and tell them how you feel, because walking away from people and telling them that you love them feels very different than just saying goodbye. And I did that all weekend. And I thought about that. I literally thought about that, like tell them how you feel. And even on Saturday night after dinner, I had like that realization too, where it was like, tell them how you feel. And even when I left, Izzy's Saturday night también, like, it's like, I love you, dude. I'll see you later. And it's just all of that. Friday, love Jay and Sabrina. It's like, I love you guys. I'll see you guys soon. So it was constant, just I love yous all across the board. So it weighed a little bit more. And Sunday night, I was just like, I love you guys. I'll see you guys soon. It feels different. All these things just kind of hit heavier, especially when you start to realize how much time we don't have. And it's like what we do with that time is much more important than anything else. So I'm trying to sit and be active and be present and take all these times and these opportunities, however it is that I can, and make the best of my time, even if it's during the week, right? Like, I think we always forget we also have time during the week, and we can make time during the week. We don't have to live for the weekends. We can live for the Monday through Fridays too. It's dope to have lunch or have dinner with people during the week. We forget about that. We get off work or we do our things. And for myself, especially right now with my schedule, I'm very fortunate where I can shift things around. I can do stuff. I can meet up with homies for lunch, or I can do this, I can do that. And it's like, I forget, and I don't take advantage of that enough. And I need to start. And even last week when I had lunch with Jay, I was like, this is so sick. Like, making time for this type of stuff, because it's important. Even if I feel like I don't have the time, it's like, make the time, because certain people give you that energy that you need to push forward. So when I read this again, it's like, on average, we get 80 summers if we're lucky. And I'm thinking about it like, fuck, conscious summers, right? Of like me being able to choose started when I was like, 17 when I started driving. And I'm like, damn, dude, I'm 34 right now. I'm not saying that I'm like damn near halfway, but I'm damn near halfway, if that's the case, right? So what am I going to do with the rest of my time? Is like, I want to book the trips. I want to take those picnics and go kick it with the homies and laugh and go to the mountains and go to the beach and the desert and go to different pizza places or go get burgers and drinks and make more memories. And this is a constant here on the show. We talk about this shit a lot, but there's a reason for it. And I think right now, especially for myself, because I'm very much in a season of change. I'm in a state of like trying to figure everything out. So why would I not talk about this so often? Why would I not always be reiterating certain things on like telling the people that you love them, telling the people that you care, and that there's nothing wrong with it, right? Like tell your homies that you love them and tell them so much that it makes it weird. Because you'd be surprised how many people are out there right now that wish they had one more time to say, I love you. And I'm one of them for sure. Like a buddy passed recently, Lando, a couple weeks ago. And I was talking about it with a buddy of mine, Static. And it's like, it's crazy, man, because people are here and then they're not here. And it's like, fuck, man, like I wish I could tell you I love you one more time. But what do you do with that, right? There's nothing you can do. You pay your respects in every way that you can, whether it's going to a service or something, or even sitting just in the comfort of your own home, just being like, hey, dude, I miss you. I'm thinking about you. And I'm not going to lie, like Lando and I weren't super close. We knew of each other. Every time we saw each other, it was always good vibes. It was always love. And I'm lucky to have experienced that and at least have had that relationship with him where it was like, yo, we don't talk every single day. Like we're not boys like that, but we're good. And it's like everybody within that clique is like, we're all good. And that's the shit that like I take away from it is like, you know what? At least the experience I had with him while he was here was positive. It was good. He had that impact where it's like, yeah, of course. Yeah, I remember Lando. I remember the type of person he was, the way he was, the energy he had, the vibe he brought to the table. So I'm lucky. I'm very fortunate to have experienced that. But it's like to be able to tell, like I know all of his boys, all the homies that he has wished and want one more opportunity to be like, hey, I love you. So I take all that stuff to heart. And again, even with everything that's happened in the last year and change for me, with the amount of deaths that I've experienced, with just kind of seeing everything overall, I take those opportunities very, very serious. Where it's like, hey, I love you. I'll see you later. I love you. I'll see you later. Because it's like, that's what I want. I want to stand for that. I want to be a beacon for that. I don't want to stand for anything else. I want to stand for love. I want to stand for light, for positivity, to spread those things. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine, Armando, last Thursday, actually. We're on the phone for like 3 hours. Dude calls me about the podcast that I released last week and how it kind of hit him a certain way. So we start talking, start doing all these things, and we start jumping into life. And I'm like, you see, like, this is beautiful. Enjoying these conversations and really being present for them and talking about, hey, dude, I appreciate you and you mean so much to me. Thank you for all that you've shown me in this like small amount of time. I'm lucky. I'm blessed to be able to have you like on the team and to be a part of it and to know that like if I was to call you, you'd answer because I need to talk about something or something's going on or simply just to say what's up. And there's nothing wrong with that. But those are the things that we have to sit and reflect on sometimes, And with all of this being said, I was like, man, what advice am I gonna give? Where am I gonna sit with all this? Like, what do I tell you guys? What do I say? Like, what words could I possibly have? Not to encompass everything, but just kind of like, what do I say after all this, right? And so I came across this little passage, and it was 3 simple rules. So I'm gonna read those rules to you guys right now. 1, love needs action. 2, trust needs proof. And 3, sorry needs change. And I know for some of you, you're probably like, what does that have to do with anything that we just talked about? Love needs action, right? The people around you will always show you that they love you. And honestly, regardless of certain things, always, always act in love. Use that action for yourself. It's okay to tell people that you love them. It's okay to tell people that you care and act on those things. If you feel compelled to do and or say something, then do that. Act and be in love, right? That's what you want from that. Trust needs proof. Trust that the people around you are right for you because you've set those boundaries. You've set those things. You've set those ropes so that these people know it's safe here. You've created this circle of trust. You've created this kind of area that people can come, speak, and be themselves. And trust in that you stand for trust and that you are trust. I think we each have to kind of make these things, right? Like be and stand for love, be and stand for trust. and that sorry needs change. Sometimes people who come into our lives and that maybe be like, they come into these circles that we've created, kind of create chaos, right? And if we have certain people that are just apologizing but never changing their behaviors, maybe there needs to be some sort of adjustment, right? Maybe those ropes need to be adjusted. And that's acting in love. That's acting in trust for yourself, because you're trusting that you know what's best for you and because you love yourself, right? If there's no change, those sorries mean nothing. And sometimes that's even for yourself too. Sometimes we tell ourselves that we're sorry for things that we do, things that we've done, but we also have to show ourselves, I have to make the change in order for that sorry to mean something, even if I tell myself that I apologize. I'm sorry that I put myself through this. I'm sorry that I had to deal with these things for so long. But when you make those changes, those sorries mean something to you, and it goes, outward too. People need to make the change. If they're out here saying sorry all the time, it's like, why are you saying sorry? Make that change so that you don't have to apologize so much anymore. Which then reinforces trust, which then reinforces love. So you see what I mean? All these things are tied together. So once again, love needs action, trust needs proof, and sorry needs change. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Thank you for all your love, your support, comments, shares, anything like that. Thank you so much for being a part of this, y'all. I appreciate you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week, an incredible weekend, and I will catch you guys on the next one.